Welcome, guys, to Devlog 3 of BTCPay Server development. And Shriram is just going to take it forward and explain, just show a quick demo, and then go inside in detail about the entire process flow that we are trying to build over here. So, Shriram, please carry on.
Yeah. So as you can see, we have succeeded in loading the plugin that we are starting to build. It comes up over here that it's installed, and we have a wallet section over here. Currently, it looks just like the Monero plugin, and we are still in the process of building it. But we are taking inspiration from the Bitcoin wallet, and we are trying to build the same set of screens as the Bitcoin wallet. So, for example, here you see the transactions. Here you would be able to send Nano. You can also receive. And finally, there would be the settings. That's what we are going to continue building over this week for Nano as well. And we have looked into the entire process flow of plugins and BTC Pay with regards to how the payments and invoices work. And we'll go through that right now. Basically, there are six main actors: the client or the buyer, the actual merchant's backend, the BTCPay server, our plugin. This would technically be a part of the BTCPay server, but we have segregated here to show what we would actually be responsible for building with regards to the plugin itself. This would be the node backend, the Nano node, and the wallet software that's running, and then finally the actual blockchain. So the process starts when an invoice is created somehow on the backend. It can be through the BTCPay's API. It can be through a manual process, anything. Once an invoice is created, BTCPay server has a list of payment methods, out of which one of them would be Nano. It calls all of them to prepare the payment method. By preparing, it means that the payment methods will prepare receive addresses, they'll prepare other relevant metadata to actually receive the payment. And within the plugin, we would call relevant node APIs to get the receive address and get any other relevant details. And we pass it on to BTCPay server over here.
Just to pause here on the point number 3, where you mentioned that the plugin would be fetching all the metadata on all the receive addresses. That's where we create that ad hoc address for putting the payment to show it to the customer, the Nano ad hoc address where the payment would go.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're creating it how? You're going to the wallet node backend, and there is a wallet over there that we're interacting with?
Yeah, it would basically forward the specific request to the node, but we will basically make use of the key create API, I believe, of the Nano node.
Again, this is all happening, however, on the same server, because the Nano node would also be on the same server as the BTCPay. So it's secure enough to have a local host RPC going inside the server itself, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So once the plugin has forwarded the details to BTCPay, it will forward the checkout URL and invoice ID to the merchant backend, which will then pass the URL to the buyer, and they can proceed with the actual payment. And when the client actually pays, it will broadcast the block to the blockchain. And there's a whole process here with regards to detecting payments, where it will first. So in our case for Nano, we will be listening to the confirmations WebSocket topic. And as confirmations come, we'll keep updating the relevant payment.
With the fallback to RPC action as well, right?
Yeah. Okay. And a payment may not completely, fulfill the invoice. And BTCPay will keep track of all the payments related to that invoice. And as confirmations come, we'll keep updating that.
Partial payments, basically.
Once the entire amount has been fulfilled, the invoice is marked as settled, and there's the relevant webhook as well for the merchant backend itself. And yeah, that's basically it. That's how the entire payment flow works. So these are some of the classes that we'll have to, or interfaces that we'll have to implement for the plugin. IPaymentProvider is basically what allows us to actually prepare the payment details. Uh, and this is where we'll basically derive the ad hoc addresses as well from the node. IHostedService is something that allows us to run background tasks, and that's what we'll use to listen for the confirmations WebSocket. BTCPNetworkBase is a class that sort of allows BTCPay to identify another coin. We define an object of BTCPay network to for Nano, where we mention the currency code, the rate rules, which I'll get to in a second, and other relevant data that identify Nano itself.
Okay.
Then there's the concept of rate rules within the BTCPay system. And they basically have like a rule system where you can mention in strings or in text a rule to basically determine the exchange rate against another currency like USD. And that's what we'll be using. You can get the rate from any exchange that BTC Pay supports. So yeah, that's how it
They have like Binance and
handles the
Kraken,
rate.
correct?
Yeah, Binance, Kraken, CoinGecko. There's like a whole huge list.
Okay. Okay. And what about the
So, yeah.
fiat stuff? Did you check the fiat conversion? How is it identifying? Because
I think they use some free APIs as well.
okay,
If the exchange itself doesn't have that particular pairing, I didn't look into it too much. I'll get to it once I'm actually implementing the rate side of things.
anyways,
Because
we
I'm
also
sure
have a
HPC has it.
sure. We also have a rate API now, so if needed, we can just incorporate that as well. It should be extensible,
Yeah.
right?
Extensible in what sense?
Adding our own
The rate system itself.
rates. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. They'll have interfaces. I remember seeing interfaces like iRate Provider Factory and stuff like that.
Cool.
I'm
Cool.
sure we can extend it easily. So yeah. And then there's basically our plan. First phase is basically wallet handling. And we alongside the Nano node, we'll be running Pippin on the server. Because that makes it a lot easier to handle the actual wallets and the RPC calls, as Node Wallet is not really production ready, whereas Pippin is. All our RPC requests will directly go to Pippin, and Pippin will handle the wallet RPCs while it will forward the other RPC calls to the node itself. Then, as I showed you on BTC Pay, there's a send screen, receive, and edit that we'll be implementing. Send, you can set the amount, the destination, and you can also schedule it anytime. For example, what the hell? That's not implemented. In Bitcoin, if we go to send, you can actually confirm, you can set the confirmation time.
No, there's a schedule there
And you
on the
can also
bottom.
schedule it.
Yeah. Got it. Understood.
In receive, you can actually see the QR code. You can set labels for the received transaction. And you can also take the link itself so that you can, it's a deep link that you can open on the app. Then the edit or the settings screen will allow you to enable or disable it. It will give you buttons to reveal your seed, so you can back it up anytime you want. You can change the seed of your wallet. You can check missing transactions, and you can recheck transactions and so on. Then we'll be implementing the payment side of things, where we actually implement the creation of ad hoc addresses, the rate fetching, the listening for confirmations, and everything else that's required, like preparation of the payment details, the actual invoice handling, and so on. So our immediate next steps, if we want to summarize and break it down, is currently to make Nano plugin communicate with the Pippin RPCs after we set it up. Then we'll be implementing the wallet handling functionality. Then we'll be moving on to the payment functionality. Then if everything is done and it works smoothly, we'll test it and fix any bugs that come up. And then finally, we'll document everything.
Sounds good.
So yeah, that's basically it.
Okay, now for the payment side, just to clarify for the viewers as well, like we are going with ad hoc addresses versus what the research that we did in BTC is that the BTC has xpub type addresses, right? Which is
They have different derivation schemes that you can use with your same wallet seed. and depending on the derivation scheme, you can give different permissions to the receiving addresses. We don't really have that functionality with Nano, as the derivation path is fixed and the only thing you can change is the index.
Correct. So that's one shortfall in Nano, but again, that's by design. So the way we accommodate that is right now with ad hoc addresses that are created for each payment, and then we can first let's get that working, and if we can improve upon it later on, we'll see how we can do that. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Anything else you want to add?
No, that's all.
All right. Now, from my understanding as well, we are very clear with how BTCPay server works, right? So the process flow
Yeah.
and the internal paths inside of it, the internal paths which actually facilitate the payments, the rates, adding a plugin, adding another altcoin to it, all that, the process flow is clear. Where we need to come in and add things, that part is also now very clear, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you've already started working on the plugin to be able to load it up onto the BTCPay server itself. So you must be having some local code that's running, right?
Yeah.
So have you already started putting that on GitHub so that others can also see the progress?
Yeah, I've pushed some stuff like a very basic setup for now. The code which implements this isn't there yet though.
Not
But
an
yeah, as I'm finishing functionalities, I'm pushing it onto GitHub.
Got it. Just polish the screens, at least put some scaffold on
Yeah.
it for the different screens that are there, and then you can push it onto GitHub as well. And then you know the process. Then you know whenever the changes come,
Yeah.
you'll be pushing. All right, sounds
Yeah.
good. Anything else?
Once I've got like the wallet side of things working a little bit more, I'll also just push the plugin onto the public instance that we have set up.
Ah, okay, got it. Yeah, sounds good. We can
Yeah.
basically test it out on the actual hosted BTCPay server itself then.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, excellent. Anything else to add?
No, that's all.
All right, man. Thanks so much. And thanks for everyone that's watching over here. We'll be keeping on updating you regularly. Till now, it did take a little bit more time to reach to a point where the code will be getting a lot of progress done on the code, but that was necessary to understand the entire BTCPay server and its entire structure well, so that we can actually go and attack the necessary locations in the code. So that's done now, and now we are going to go and actually implement the plugin part of it one by one. Yeah. All right. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thanks for joining. Bye.